Number 1. Claire Miller. What would make a 14-year-old girl walk into her sister's bedroom and take her life in silence? Not out of rage, not out of fear, but out of something darker. Something even experts still can't fully explain. This wasn't just any sister. Helen Miller was 19 years old, disabled, nonverbal, and entirely dependent on her family for everything. She couldn't walk. She couldn't speak. She couldn't fight back. And Claire, her own little sister, had once been the one to push her wheelchair, hug her for family photos, and smile beside her in albums. But on one cold February night in 2021, Claire did the unthinkable. She walked into that bedroom, knife in hand, and changed her family's life forever. This is the chilling true story of Claire Miller, the 14-year-old from suburban Pennsylvania, whose crime shocked the nation and left a community reeling. February 22nd, 2021. Manheim Township, Lancaster County. At 10:08 a.m., a disturbing 911 call came in. On the line was Claire Miller, her voice shaky but eerily calm. She told the dispatcher she had just killed her sister. When police arrived minutes later, they found Claire standing outside her home, distressed, crying, her pajama pants stained with blood. Inside, officers discovered Helen lying in bed, still tucked under her covers. A large knife protruded from her neck. Blood soaked the mattress. Blood pooled on the floor. According to the affidavit, Claire repeatedly said, "I stabbed my sister. I couldn't stop." Helen was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. She was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Claire was arrested immediately. Here's where it gets darker. Claire Miller wasn't a troublemaker. She was a freshman at a private school. Quiet, intelligent, engaged. Just hours before the murder, she was posting TikTok videos. Some were lighthearted. Others were dark with cryptic captions and sad music. On the outside, the Miller home looked like the picture of stability. Upper middle class, no history of violence, no police calls, no signs of abuse. But beneath the surface, Claire was unraveling. Court records revealed she had been battling severe mental health issues, hearing voices, believing reality wasn't real, paranoia, and disorganized thoughts. Reports even showed she had been hospitalized before for psychiatric reasons. And yet, no one saw this coming. Helen, on the other hand, lived her life with courage. Born with cerebral palsy, confined to a wheelchair, she required full-time care. But she was loved deeply. Her room was filled with soft lights, posters, and music, the little things that brought her joy. She was peaceful, gentle, and tragically defenseless. That night, as she slept, Claire entered her room. The attack was quick, silent, brutal. Helen never had a chance to cry out. Because of the severity of the crime, Claire was charged as an adult. In Pennsylvania, homicide suspects, even minors, face adult charges. Her defense argued she suffered from schizophrenia spectrum disorder. Two psychiatrists confirmed she was psychotic, hallucinating, and detached from reality. Claire herself told evaluators she believed the world was a simulation. But prosecutors argued that mental illness didn't erase the fact she had planned it, waiting until her parents were asleep, choosing her weapon, and attacking without provocation. After 2 years of hearings, Claire pleaded guilty but mentally ill to third-degree murder. In February 2023, she was sentenced to 12 to 40 years in prison, with credit for time served. Today, she remains incarcerated at Muncie State Correctional Institution, receiving psychiatric treatment. The Claire Miller case shocked America, not just for the brutality, but because it seemed impossible. A child from a loving home, a victim who had done nothing to provoke her, and a family destroyed in a single night. In court, Claire's parents sat silently, devastated beyond words. They had lost 2 daughters, one to a senseless death, the other to the justice system. The community struggled to comprehend. Schools brought in counselors, hotlines saw spikes in calls. Across the country, people asked, how could no one see this coming? Could it have been prevented? This case isn't just about crime, it's about hidden mental illness, about missed red flags, about families torn apart by horrors they never saw coming. Helen Miller lived in silence, and she died in silence. But her life mattered. She was loved. She deserves to be remembered. And as for Claire, she faces decades behind bars, her mind clouded by illness, her future forever changed. This case forces us to face a painful truth. Sometimes the darkest horrors don't come from strangers, but from those closest to us. Before we move on to the next case, I want to pause, because stories like this remind us why we cover them here on Undefined Crime Scene. If you believe true stories like these need to be told, take 1 second right now. Hit that subscribe